Assalamualaikum students, my name is Dr. Rizwana Raheel. I'm MPhil in Pharmacology and Toxicology. Here today I am going to teach you anatomy and histology. So basically your course code for anatomy and histology is 314, that is PHARM 314. So before going into the detail of the subject, I will share with you the theory marking scheme. When you are in physical system, we take your mid of 25 marks, your internal assessment of 25 marks, your final terms of 50 marks, and your total of 100 marks. Then, but in case we have in online system, then in online system, the mid will be of 25 marks, internal assessment same will be of 25 marks, your MCQs will be of 10 marks, but definitely there will be 40 MCQs to which we will convert into 10 marks. Your Viva will be of 20 marks, your term paper will be of 20 marks, and then your definitely total theory paper will be of 100 marks. Now, what are the marking schemes in practicals? So, in case of practicals, usually we take your written of 20 marks, copy will be of 10 marks, your table viva will be of 20 marks, performance definitely will be of 10 marks, and your grand viva will be of 40 marks, and the definitely total will be of 100 marks. What I usually do is that I take the written with performance of 35 marks, where I will show you certain bones, certain structure, and certain slides to which you have to identify that will be included in your performance. Definitely, you will also perform different experiments of histology that you will show me, and this total marks will be of 35 marks. Your copy will be of 5 marks. Your table viva will be of 20 marks, and grand viva will be of 40 marks. So, we are going to study anatomy and histology. This anatomy and histology is basically a subject of your basic medical sciences. Now, what are the other subjects which are in basic medical sciences? These are physiology, pathology, pharmacology, and therapeutics 1, that is basic. Then we have pharmacology and therapeutics 2, that is advanced. So, full name of your course is anatomy and histology. Credit hours are 3 plus 1, 3 for your classes and 1 for your lab. Definitely you will have 2 classes of 1.5 hours in a week, and your practical lab will be of 3 hours. That will be 1 lab in a week. Now, what are the course objectives? Why we are going to study anatomy? Because in future, we are going to study the effect of drugs on those anatomical structures. In anatomy, we will study the structures, while in case of pharmacology, we will study the effect of drug on these structures. Here we will study anatomy at gross level, that is at macroscopic level. We will also study at microscopic level. So now what is gross anatomy? Gross anatomy is the study of anatomy at visible or macroscopic level. Now coming towards the introduction of the anatomy, here in this subject, we will study that what is cell, what is tissue, what is organ system. Then we will study the cell in detail. We will study that what is cell membrane, what is cytoplasm, what is organelle, nucleus, and the cell cycle. Then we will study the tissue, that is epithelial tissue, connective tissue, bones, and the muscles. In the case of epithelial tissue, we will study its characteristics, its classification. In case of connective tissues, we will study the structures and the type of the connective tissue. We will see or study that what are cartilages, what are ligaments, what are bones, what are joints, what are different type of the muscles. We will see the difference between the skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and the cardiac muscle. Then we will move towards the integumentary system. In this system, we will study in detail the skin. We will study the structure of the skin. We will study that what is dermis, what is epidermis. We will study the glands of the skin, that are the sweat glands, sebaceous gland. Then we will study the appendages, that is hairs and the nails. So we will study the structures and functions of the hairs and the nails. Then we will move towards the cardiovascular system. Here we will study the heart. We will study the blood supply to the heart. We will study different types of the blood vessels which are nourishing the heart, which are coming from the heart towards various organs or the tissues. Then we will move towards the alimentary system. In this system, we will study the name and structure of different alimentary system. We will study the urinary system, name and structure of different organs of the urinary system. Then we will move towards the reproductive system. There we will see that what is difference between gynecology, what is embryology, what are developmental stages, what are the name and structures and the associated organs of the system. Then we will move towards the endocrine system. There we will study the pituitary gland, thyroid gland, and the adrenal gland. Definitely we see the structures and the functions. Then we will move towards the nervous system. There we will study the neurons in detail. We will study the accessory cells of the nervous system. We will see the organization of the nervous system as well. Then in brain, we will study meninges, different parts of the brain, different bones of the skull, definitely. And then we will move towards the spinal cord. We will see that what is CSF, that is cerebrospinal fluid. We will study that what are sensory and the motor pathways. We will study the spinal reflexes, peripheral spinal nerves, autonomic nervous system. We will study different divisions of autonomic nervous system. We will study that what is sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, what are the nerves involved in this system. Then we will move towards histology. There we will study that how you can stain different tissues. Then you will study that what is section, how to mount a section on the slide, how to study the normal tissues. In anatomy, basically, we're going to study the normal tissues. In pathology, definitely we will go towards a diseased condition. Then, now what are the books which you will use in the semester? First book, that is a very good book, that is Gray's Anatomy. Then we have a Method of Anatomy, 9th edition. We have Textbook of Anatomy by Macmillan. Then we have Regional and Applied Anatomy. We have Fundamentals of Anatomy and Physiology. Then another very good book, that is Clinically Oriented Anatomy, which we will use in our starting lectures. Then we have Manual of Practical Anatomy. Then we have Anatomy and Physiology, the Unity of the Form and Function. This is also a very good book. Then another good book is the Snell's Clinical Anatomy. Then we have Gray's Anatomy, Tissue of the Body, Anatomy, Principle of Anatomy and Physiology. So among all these books, the most important book which I prefer and the students usually study is B.D. Churasia's book. Why this is a good book? Because in this book, the author has divided the human body or the human anatomy into 4 different sections. That is 4 different regions. First one is upper limb and the thorax. Then the lower limb and the abdomen. Then we have the head and the neck. Then we have the brain, neuro anatomy. So, but another good book of the same author is the Journal Anatomy. That is Journal Anatomy by B.D. Churasia. This is also a very good book. In this book, he has summarized the whole anatomy. Then Snell's Clinical Anatomy by Regents is definitely another very good book, which we will use in this semester. Gray's Anatomy is also a very good book. So these are the books which we will use in this semester. So students, this was all about the course outline of the anatomy. Thank you very much.